foes on spokes. For the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole. For the homegirls with the scrap game, little homies that gang bang. From Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you've been through. Shit you had to go get to. Your mama gave birth on the turf. I know them killers you get to. This for the lost generation. Broke as hell, mad and impatient. But if you know your history, you can't have a strong foundation, baby.
Lifting weights was on sport. They start calling me Big Knee.
Sixx Shakur from Eastside, Bloodstone, Villain by Sixx. Also known as Shady Eyes is my hood name.
Man, the kid that got to be put on problem, man. They just do you.
I created Tony Pocket in my mother's garage.
They call me Tiny Ant from Rolling 60, better yet known as Tylo Tiny Ant.
Start hanging out, start messing with the Bloods, and end up turning Bloodstone Villain.
Turtle went got his little sawed off, came out there, took one leap over the wall, and just started beating him on his car.
My name is Sixx Shakur from Eastside, Bloodstone, Villain 5'6", Villain. Also known as Shady Eyes is my hood name, Queen of the Have-Nots. I'm the Queen of the Have-Nots because it's a community of our people that we have nothing and we trying to make something. And I'm called a queen because I feed the community. I do backpack drives for the youth and other different things that I can help out in the community. Like we used to do the Bloods and Crips football games and the peace treaty.
Where was you born at?
I was born in Los Angeles, California, on the east side of Los Angeles.
So you're a native in the Bloodstone Village?
Yes, I am.
What schools did the Bloodstone Villains attend as kids?
Cooper Avenue Elementary is the school I went to, and then Jefferson High School, and then Edison Middle School. But I went to Carver Junior High later on because first I went to the Valley School because I was always into dance, arts and stuff, so I went to Pacoima Junior High Fine Arts School. I got kicked out of there for fighting, and then I went to Carver Junior High, and so I was like one of the only blood girls claiming blood up there. Everybody else was claiming Fortray.
Jeff High, did the Pueblos go there too?
Well, I didn't go to Jeff. It's funny, I went to Hooper, and I went to Lock High, and then I got kicked out of Lock because I had homegirls that was Crips and stuff, but my homeboys Pookie and Drake Capone from BSV used to come up there and take me to school. So they found a lot of other girls and dudes found out that I was from BSV, and so I got into a fight with a girl from Grape Street, and then everybody jumped me. So my dad told me I couldn't go to the Lock no more, and so I went to Dorsey. My dad stayed in the jungle, so I went to Dorsey, and then that's when I hooked up with all my homeboys from the jungles.
So when you were Carver, 4 trays and 5 trays was beefing already?
Yeah, they were beefing already.
So no 5 trays went there?
If it was, they were kind of probably low-key. The majority was like the 4 trays was up there. Some Avalons, like my god uncle Jimbo, he resting in peace. He was from 5 Tray Avalon. He was big time. He used to roll through there. But as far as like my age, not really. It was a majority of 4 trays up there, and then the Mexican gangs.
Do you guys look at 4 deuces as 4 trays?
Some people do. I mean, I knew a couple of 4 deuces, but I mean, we never like hung out with them, interacted with them, but I know some of them did hang out with the 4 trays.
Do you remember when the Pueblos and Villains first started their conflict?
I really, the Pueblos and Villains, the conflict, I really don't want to go into that, but I will certain parts because of the fact that the Pueblos killed my homeboy Do Dirty, and the dude that supposed to kill him was supposed to have been from Pueblos as well. So that's how it kind of started off the beef. I actually had 12 kids that birthed out of my body. Well, I almost had 13, but I had lost one just recently.
Hey, so look, when you were coming up as a homegirl, who were the big names from Villain?
Who were the older homeboys whose names rang at that time?
Well, it was so many homies, and then some of them, a lot of them is resting in peace.
So when you were in junior high school age, were the BMSs over there at that time?
In junior high, some of them, but not that much. Like majority of just us in the hood, and we would hang with the Swans. We was still, well, then us and the Pueblos was cool then, and then the Brims was like, the Pueblos was like our brothers at the time, and then the Brims was like our cousins.
I'm asking about the Mexicans over there.
They were,
yeah,
they were over there, but it wasn't like deep as it is like now. Like LA is like Mexico town, you want to say. Back then, it was like they were just now like coming in, basically.
So you remember a time when they weren't even around?
Not really, because it was like when Mexicans first started like coming to Hooper Elementary, it was like, dang, what's this? And then like then it was funny because everybody used to make fun of their clothes, because they used to wear just all type of crazy stuff, dressed with titty shoes or funny colors. Now, you know, the Mexicans is more, you know, flamboyant and more popping with the gear than we are. You feel what I'm saying? But when they first started out at Hooper, it wasn't hardly like a lot of Mexicans. And then at like the Carver and I want to say Edison, they had like the Florencias was there, and then like I don't know if it was it was 18th Streets, and then I think it was Harpies, what they called themselves at the time. Those were like the two Mexican gangs that was around then when I was a teenager.
Don't forget 38th Street.
Well, the 38th Street, but the majority that we seen, it was the 18th and the Florencias, because the Florencias was over there at Edison, and the majority of all of my homegirls and homeboys in junior high went to Edison, and I'm like the only one that went to Carver. So. Did
y'all get along with these Mexican gangs?
Well, at the time, some of us got along with the Florence. Like now, some of us still get along with the Florence. The 18th Streets, I never really like interacted like as far as gang wise, but I know that some of my homeboys had problems with the 18th Streets, and a lot of the Pueblos had problems with the 18th Streets back then.
What about with the Barrio Mojados? What's your relationships with those guys?
Probably my homeboys. I never had any relationships with them. I just know about them.
I want to ask you about two BSVs that moved to the west side. I'm going to see if you know them. Lil L Don.
I know Lil L Don.
And a guy that calls himself Scrappy / Donut. They had moved to the west side back in like the late 80s, early 90s.
I know Lil Don and Scrappy. I probably know him by face-wise.
What was your relationship with the 30 Pyrus?
The 30 Pyrus, they always were like our cousins too. We got like a couple of my family members have baby fathers by 30 Rules. I got two like best friends from 30 Rules, and their brother now, he's in prison. He's doing a life sentence or whatever, named Devil from 30 Rules. And so like they just been like our family.
How about the 20 Outlaws?
The 20 Outlaws, the only person that I got the homeboy 20 Outlaws name is Bloodhound, and he is in what you want to call it, he's deported. They deported him to another country.
I thought he was from the NHB.
No, he's from 20 Outlaws. I just talked to him yesterday. Yeah, I got some pictures. I don't have one, but I got some pictures with me and him and a couple other Crips of the Blood Crips football games and stuff that we were doing.
Where's he from?
He's from here, but they deported him over because he was in the military, but they deported him because he's a revolutionary, so they deported him. He's in South America right now.
So he's not black?
He's black.
American black.
He's American black. He's a light-skinned. He's American.
Slave black.
Yeah, he's slave black. Yeah, he's slave black.
Let me ask you something. When you were coming of age, who was BSV's #1 enemy at that time?
Four Trays was our #1 enemies in East Coast.
Which ones?
Like the 5'9" East Coast.
I know you don't want to touch too deep into the Pueblo situation, but when that war kicked off, were there any people trying to squash that beef?
The cold part of the cold part about it is the thing of it is like during that time we were doing like different, like trying to get together like the peace treaty or whatever, because Tupac Shakur, that's my cousin. And so like he came out here, like after he got out of jail, we was doing some stuff at the Black Panther office. So we were trying to like get the different hoods together. And so what we was doing was at the time, we was talking to the homeboy Ben Capone and a couple of other people like my relative Little Man. And so we was like, man, well, we need to talk to, you know, everybody and get it together because this is about, you know, black people and stuff. And he's like, well, I can't tell them nothing. We trying. And
well, what year did that war start?
I want to say 2000 and maybe 4 or 5, maybe, or maybe even earlier than that.
And you said Tupac Shakur is your cousin.
Yes.
What Tupac are you talking about?
I'm talking about Tupac Shakur. Yeah. I'm talking about, that's why my name's Sixx Shakur, Tupac Shakur. I got a documentary that's gonna be coming out soon called To Live and Die in LA. Life after Tupac Shakur. Yeah.
And you guys brought him into the Pebble.
No, well, we brought him over to the Nickersons because see, over the Nickersons, well, see, I'm Muslim. Over the Nickersons, there's only one masjid over there, and majority of the people over there is Bloods and stuff. So what happened was, at the time when he went to prison, I was out in San Bernardino at the time, and I was out there doing my thing, hustling and stuff. So one of my family members said, you know, our people, Pac out of jail. And I'm like, he is? I'm like, I'm coming to Cali. I'm coming back to LA. So when I found out he was out, I came back to LA. And then that's when I started working at Death Row. And at that time, I was just like a studio assistant. So I was taking like people like Badass and stuff to the studio and different people like that. And like the Outlaws and stuff, bringing them weed and different stuff like that. But I had already knew Eazy-E and them. So we had, before that, like, we got some homeboys from 6-0, even though they know I'm from Villain, we got homeboys from 6-0. And so at that time, they had the good green. And so every time Old Dirty Bastard and them came out here, they would call me, oh, Sixx, come bring the California, you know what I'm saying? So we go bring them the California weed and stuff. And like Eazy, like we used to hang out with him for a while, a little bit before he died. Him, BG Knockout, and all of them, and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Crazy Bone wife is one of my best friends, so we used to go hang out with them and hang out with everybody on Death Row.
So wait a minute. You growing up on Compton in 56, how are you meeting all these industry people?
Because I was a part of the industry and Tupac is my cousin. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When he got out of jail and stuff, they can't have me come work at Death Row. And that's what I was saying at the time. Because I rap too, but at the time, they was asking me to rap. I was shy. Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and all of them, they were asking. I was like, no, you know, I was shy at the time. So that's like, well, then since you don't want to rap, then you can do this. So like I said, I'll be taking different artists to the studio and stuff. And then like, for the major artists, see, Death Row, the thing is they had like a big time studio for like the major artists. We would go to K.M.V studio and stuff for Pac and Snoop and stuff like that. But then for like the underdog artists, they would go to this hood studio in Swan Hood called the Cannabis Tea. And it would be people like Gonzo was there, Blue Da Vinci, and it was run by this dude named S-Dog that he was a part of BMF. He went to Atlanta and he was a part with Big Meech and stuff. So they would record there and then they would take it back to the studio and stuff up there. And I'm wondering like certain people, like the guy Badass, you know, he just passed and stuff. And so it was him and his crew, the Low Life Gangsters and stuff. And they used to be in there recording and stuff. And I had the weed. I used to sell them the weed and stuff. And I was one, I'm like, y'all got all these songs, but nobody had a car. I'm the only one that had the car, so I'm taking everybody around everywhere and stuff. But Tupac was like protective. He was like, oh, you can't be messing around with these dudes or whatever, because they had, like, later on they had a rift between each other. Because see, the night, people always ask, oh, is he dead? He dead? Yeah, he's dead. It's California. People act like that people can't get killed. But I was supposed to go to Vegas, but they were saying that he was not going to be in Vegas at the time because my birthday is on September the 8th. So when they kept saying he wasn't going to go to Vegas, I had to end up going to Pelican Bay prison. Because I had already told Tupac, well, if you wasn't going to go to the Tyson fight, then I'm just going to go up to Pelican Bay. So when they said he wasn't going, so I'm like, I'm going to go up to Pelican Bay. By the time I got to, like, Richmond, I had heard that he had got shot and stuff. Everybody was like, oh, he got shot. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that he was still going to Vegas or whatever. So after that, by the time I got up to Pelican Bay, they said he was dead, you know.
So you landed on death row in what, 96 when he came home?
Yeah.
Tell us a good death row story.
Oh, a good death row story. Well, the thing of it is, people try to say that, oh, Suge had Pac killed. Suge didn't have Pac killed because Pac and Suge was like brothers. You know, I don't know if a lot of people knew this. They had went out swimming one time, and Tupac couldn't really swim, and Suge had to save his life. And so a lot of people don't know that, but him and Suge was like real tight brothers. And a lot of the other artists on death row, like, really didn't like that. In reality, like, Tupac was the one that had everything. Like, a lot of people don't know, he had his own stuff in his name. Snoop Dogg and the rest of them, they didn't have, like, the penthouses and stuff. Like, at the time, like, when Pac got out, and he had his own penthouse at the Wilshire House on Wilshire. But Snoop Dogg, Daz, and Warren G, oh, don't get mad at me, y'all. They didn't have their own penthouse. They was all sharing a penthouse or whatever at the time. But Pac had his own. But Pac and Snoop had got into a beef, like, in the last part before he got shot. They got into a beef because they were supposed to go on the Tonight Show to do America's Most Wanted song that they had did, but Snoop Dogg never showed up. So I don't know if anybody's ever seen it, but it was out. They did, Ice-T came on there with them, and they did just some crazy parody song.
I remember when you couldn't wait to love me. You used to hate to leave me. Now after loving me late at night, well, it's good for you, babe. You're feeling alright.
But Pac was really upset because he was like, you know, this nigga know that we supposed to be doing this on the Tonight Show or whatever, and he never came, so they had a beef. So they went to Catalina Island, and Muta got into it with some of the Dog Pound gangsters, Nate Dogg, and some of the rest of the outlaws and stuff. They were all about the fight and stuff over the whole situation.
So after Tupac dies, what happens to you on death row?
Well, after Tupac died, I was still doing stuff. I was still working with Snoop Dogg and Badass and Warren G. I was still working there and still doing stuff with different artists. But by then, see, what people didn't know is I was doing my own thing as well, because he had left some stuff for me where I can go take artists to the studio and just sign my name, Sixx Shakur, for Interscope. And I was taking people to the studio, so I was branching off trying to do my own thing at the time. Even though I was still working with Death Row, I was still doing my own stuff, like getting artists and stuff and trying to put out my own music.
What's your last name?
Shakur. If you go to my Instagram.
Because it went over my head.
I mean, she said it like 5 times.
It went over my head. And she said it again, it caught my attention.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so like I said.
Before she came, you know she was related to Tupac?
I ain't had no conversation.
Okay, well, that's why it's just not right?
So like after that, that's when, like I said, I was working with like different artists. I used to sign different artists, take them to the studio and stuff. So because of the fact that Tupac was my cousin, I was introduced to people like Old Dirty Bastard, and me and Old Dirty Bastard and stuff was cool. The Wu-Tang Clan, like, cause some people say, oh, he didn't like New York, but he had New York like homies, which was Wu-Tang Clan, and those was the homeboys and stuff. And then I ended up meeting Mos Def, and then I started working with them on Rockers Records, helping them do artist representation for them for a while, like, from, I want to say like 99 to maybe 2002, I was doing that. And then after that, I was still doing my music with Big Frank, Tupac bodyguard up in Montclair. He had a studio. And Johnny J as well, we were still doing music with them. Then, like, I want to say, when the time the Pueblo and the Villain had the beef, I had went to Louisiana and I came back. So my homeboy Spiralo from East Coast, he was like, Sixx, where you been at? He was like, you got to get with this G-Unit West. I said, I don't know nothing about no G-Unit West. I just know about G-Unit, right? So he was like, no, you got to come or whatever. I want you to meet everybody. So the first day that he picked me up, he took me to some club or whatever, and they performed G-Unit West. It was 50 Cent and everybody, and he introduced me to everybody. Like, oh, this Sixx Shakur or whatever, she gonna be a part of G-Unit West. I got it tatted on my arm, and I got Tupac tatted, but I can't show it because I'm Muslim. But I had to show you the pictures. I can send y'all pictures and stuff. So I was working with G-Unit West as artist and representation over there at G-Unit West. But we was working with Bloods and Crips as well, because Spiralo was from East Coast, and then we got my homeboy Papa Smurf, he from Denver Lane and stuff like that. So everything was working cool with them until the Grape Streets and the East Coast got into it, and everybody was all together at first. But when they got into it, then that's when it kind of like broke apart. You know what I'm saying? So I think then, like, 50 Cent didn't really want to put any more money into it because it was just about gang banging. After Tupac died and confiscated some of his stuff from my house, because I stayed at the house in Westchester by LAX at the time, and his name was on the apartment that I stayed in. So they came and raided my house. They took my SK. They took a book that was his of prison letters. It was like prison letters of different people in prison talking about the conditions, but it was nothing but letters. He was gonna make it into a book. And they took that and they took my SK from me, and it was like, oh, we've been watching y'all ever since he been in prison or whatever. This gotta stop. So what they did was, my daughter was like the first Shakur baby after Tupac, so they kept on saying, oh, she's Tupac's daughter, and I'm like, no, she is his cousin or whatever. So I got my daughter, so this was the plan. I didn't know I was gonna have 12 children, like before he died, not when he actually got shot, but I want to say it was like maybe a month or 2 months surrounding before he got shot. He just kept telling me, it's all about the kids, it's all about the kids. And when he was telling me that, it was strange because he was saying it was all about the kids. So I didn't think about that I was gonna have these many kids. So he was like, oh, if you have kids, well, every baby that I was supposed to have at that time, if it was a boy name, was supposed to be Tupac. But the funny part about it is I didn't have no boys. So I had Malaysia Georgia Asada Shakur, born 10/30/97. Then I had Nubia Afeni Shakur, but her name is really Afeni Nubia Shakur, but we had to change it around because of the fact that her name is the same as Tupac's mom. And she was born January the 17th, 2000. And then we have Ashra Amaru Setra Shakur, which is born 7/04/2002. And so that's why I said all of them was supposed to be named Tupac for the new generation, because that was his goal, of a new generation of the black people in our community. Because see, a lot of people don't know about him is that he was really trying to make a change, but he was also caught up in, you know, the whole death row thing and the artist, the industry as well. But he was only 25 years old. You feel what I'm saying? So we had already had, you know, circumference of people where we had Panther Shakur, it was my sister Mecca Shakur, and it was another Conrad named Conrad Does. Now we were like the new generation of the Black Panther Party, and we were supposed to, you know, build with Tupac, but he ended up getting killed.
Let me ask you, was it true he was getting ready to start his own label?
Yes, he was about to start his own label called Euthanasia Records. It wasn't just because of Suge, it had to do with other issues, but he was gonna start his own label.
Baby, baby, baby.